Ready, hot!
I'm Jenni Carlson here with Jason Kersey. We're in Norman, where Oklahoma has defeated Oklahoma State 51-48. Jason, a first ever Bedlam overtime game ended with 2 running plays. Oklahoma really took it down Oklahoma State's throat. Was that the difference in this game? Just really that offensive run game in the end?
Well, yeah, because Oklahoma's run game really had struggled a lot throughout most of the game. Brennan Clay and Damian Williams and those guys, and even Blake Bell punching it in there at the very end to tie the game and send it to overtime. He'd struggled earlier in the game. And so the passing game had been the thing that had been the most effective. So, yeah, it was a little bit surprising to see him come right out with those runs right there in overtime to win.
Yeah, it was the run game at the tail end, but let's talk about Landry Jones for a second, because the pass game really did keep them in this game when Oklahoma State had the firepower, it looked like, to maybe run away with things. What was your impression of Landry Jones in this final Bedlam finale for him?
Well, the fact that he can just stay calm and he can stay even-keeled throughout that second half, when they were having success driving down the field, and then they'd have to settle for a field goal, or then they would, something would happen and they wouldn't get the touchdowns. They didn't score an offensive touchdown until the very end of the second half. And so the fact that he maintained that calm, maintained that leadership, and took him down there, that was the difference in the game. And if it hadn't been for the pass game and those receivers, OU would have definitely lost the game.
Jalen Saunders, Justin Brown, Kenny Stills, all of them had really nice days for Oklahoma in the pass game. Let's talk about defense for a second, Jason. Oklahoma State playing their third-team quarterback, pretty darn effective against these Sooners. Why did the Sooner defense struggle? I mean, obviously both defenses struggled, but why did the Sooner defense have its struggles today?
Well, it's the third week in a row against this type of offense that they just have really struggled to slow the opposing offense down. Baylor came in here, Nick Florence ran all over him. Last week it wasn't the quarterback run game, it was Tavon Austin rushing for nearly 400 yards on the ground. And then tonight, Clint Shelf had 50-some yards on his first 3 or 4 carries. They're just having a lot of trouble figuring out exactly what they want to do. They tried their hand with 7 defensive backs. That didn't work. Tonight they tried 6. That didn't seem to be a whole lot better. So, I think they're just kind of experimenting with things and hoping something works here next week at TCU.
All right, lastly, I have to ask you about the celebration at the end, because that was a huge celebration. We didn't see any storming the field. It wasn't by the fans, but the players definitely celebrated this one. What was your impression as you talked to guys after the game just about the level of excitement on this team?
Well, I think they were just fired up to get that win, to come all the way back. This 2 weeks in a row that they've won games in this fashion, by this close of margins. Brennan Clay gets that last touchdown. I think everyone's excited to see him having the success he's had. This is a guy who struggled his first couple years on campus, has finally really emerged as a strong option in the offense. And so I think and even former players, guys like Dusty Dvorak is out there. Derek Strait, graduate assistant coach, they're jumping around, hitting each other. The coaches are fired up. Everybody was fired up to get this win, I think, and get that last year's Bedlam off their back.
Definitely. All right, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.